Hello and welcome. I'm Psychic Medium Roberto, and I truly hope you are well today. All right, so just a trigger warning. We are dealing with sensitive issues of a mature nature and might be triggering for some of you viewers. And all cases are treated as alleged until proven in a court of law. So we are looking at a part 2 with Catherine Middleton, and I would just like to say to the new viewers, thank you for being here. I normally don't like to do updates or follow-ups. I don't want to create a situation where because the show did well and now I want to get more viewers. That's not the case. I don't like doing that. The rationale behind the second episode, possibly a third, but the second one, there's a long string of dates in the news clip that I watched. So to do them all at once can be a bit draining for myself, and also asking you to sit for several hours could be problematic. So we go bit by bit. I also just want to clear something up, because obviously there's been a big reaction to the first show, and that is the reason why I put in Catherine and Middleton. And of course, I acknowledge that in England, she would be referred to as the Princess of Wales. So the reason I did that is partly in the main is because I don't believe she's the Princess of Wales anymore. And I'm making her human as opposed to some person sitting behind a glass window with a crown on her head. And of course, all respect to British people. That's your monarchy, and that's what you've grown up with. But in my personal experience, when Princess Diana passed, that was it for me. All right, so now what I'm going to do is a lot of comments came in regarding, but she was seen driving with her mother. Now, I've put the description of the video where I got this caption from. And you'll note there, March 4, 2024, Kate's mom was seen driving with supposedly Kate in the car. Now, in the video, there's a bit of analysis that takes place, and the facial profile definitely does not match Catherine's. So I've called up the dates here. So here's March 4, 2024, 3, 4, 8, 7, 8, 15, 6. Let me just go through the 3 dates, because I'm going to get to what is actually going on here. So we have March 5 and March 6, and these will often offer a reflection of what is going on. Now, interestingly, we're in an 8th year. Okay. And let's say in the context of what is happening around the royal family is a communication blunder over and above of whatever happened inside the Sandringham home, where Catherine was rushed to hospital twice. And we'll get to that, why it's twice. We'll get to that in a minute. So being an 8th year speaks about communication. And we can agree that the communication around the situation is being a shambles. Then also from another communication point of view, we know, and I'm just going back to the very first slide from the first episode, the fact that we haven't seen Catherine since December 25 is a communication issue as well. Because that's why everyone's asking, where is Kate? Now, under normal circumstances, let's say if she was a regular person like you and I, we don't necessarily need to disclose our medical conditions to the public, which is fair enough, absolutely fair. But because she is front and center with William in terms of the next in line, king and queen, there should be some kind of reassurance to the public that I've just had a flash now of It's like what happens in Buckingham Palace is like the Vatican City, like a state to its own. And this is where I have issues with. So if something's happened to Catherine against her will, I might add, against her will, then the public and the authorities need to know about it. So why all the charades? And we'll get there. So the day that she was spotted in a vehicle with her mom, supposedly Kate in the passenger seat, we have a mass of 8s around these days, and which tells me, here they go again, trying to fool the world, fool the public, that we have everything is under control. Don't worry, Kate is with mom. I don't think so. Then what bothers me is March the 6th, that reflection of the 9. And I mentioned in the previous video, and I've pulled out quite a number of dates, and we'll get to them now. There's a lot of 9s going around here. And that for me is problematic. Very problematic. So although on March the 4th, the message they're trying to get across didn't work, 15-6, didn't work. The 5 in the 15-6 tells me lies, lies, lies. We have March the 5th, the day starts with a 5, a fat lie. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because even by the analysis the journalist did, is definitely not Kate in that car. And the numbers tell me what a lie. All right, so I'm going here. This is where we're going to focus on this episode. So the next batch of dates is we have the so-called date where admitted to hospital a second time. And you will recall from the first episode, the first time that she was admitted to hospital, which there was never any formal report, but journalists caught it on camera, was on December the 28th. Kate was sent to hospital, or supposedly Kate was taken to hospital. And there in itself is problematic. And we've discussed that 28th in great depth. If you haven't seen the first episode, go have a look. I'll put a link up above. But the December the 28th we've discussed, and there's problems there on its own. Now, supposedly Kate was readmitted to hospital again. So when did she come out the first time? The January the 17th, she was admitted to hospital. William visits on January the 18th. Charles visits on January the 26th. And Kate supposedly discharged on the 29th, which of course no one has any visual reference of at all. But of course it's a private matter. So we'll accept that on face value, but come on. Surely Kate goes home. There's a bit of a celebration going home. Mom's come home. Let me just have a look here quickly. So I'm a little bit more prepared than the first video. I enjoyed that raw reading because the dread is in the air. All right. Now, let's look at these dates, and Spirit will also guide me here. Again, on January the 17th, we have a mass of 8s here. And I'm telling you now, so I'm going to just stay on the communication aspect, and we'll get to the body, because 8 also speaks about the body. All these 8s, and there's mass of 8s here. We are being shown a puppet show here, people. This is a puppet show. And to be clear on what I mean by that is, it's all lies. It is all lies. With these, I'm just fixing up a triangle on the top there, and with my OCD, it has to be right before I continue. All right, so here we go. On that day, we have a mass of 8s. So we can argue on a medical point of view. Let's go with a medical point of view. With all these 8s, there's serious issues going on here with the human body, right? Then we have this alarming number, 89. Something happened to Katja. This, I don't believe, and I've just had this feeling, whatever happened to Kate from a medical, let's say from a medical point of view, was not a natural occurrence. This, I'm getting a feeling it was induced or forced. We'll recall, and I'll jump back to the previous slide here quickly with you. December the 28th. We note there, bottom 21.3 red. This wasn't against her. This was against her will. Am I saying that right? This was forced against her. This was not natural. Okay, whatever happened, in my opinion, was not natural. So January the 17th, we have that 18.9. There's problems here, hey? And I'm glad the visit happened the next day, January the 18th. So we'll appreciate there's a lot going on here, just that Catherine is ill, obviously, right? There's the royal family interference. There's media energy going on. There's lots of energy going on around this case. Now, William visits January the 18th, which again brings about the 18.9. Dodge. 19.10.1, reflection of what we saw during Christmas time. This is almost like she's passed here, hey? These are not good numbers, and we have a double 18.9. There's serious problems here. And I'm just highlighting them in red. We note the 27.9 here as well. Red pings directly on William as well. So the day William visits, we have an outcome 27.9, pings directly on him. He knows what's happened here. 27.9, I tell you, in a crime situation, 27.9, that's not good. Very dark stuff going on here in this so-called royal palace. Here we have William on the scene. And what is he trying to communicate to the world? He has come to see his ailing wife who is in hospital. What a good husband. Meanwhile, the situation is done for. So again, we have the massive eights when Charles visits. Triple eights, pillar of eights, 27.9, again reflected with Charles and William. And I'll type William now in January the 18th, but I believe I started with Charles. Charles's visit also pings directly on William, 27.9. The 17.8 is what are they trying to communicate to the world? And of course, it's a blunder because there's so many eights around. All the messaging it's a lie. To wrap up, William, sorry, I might just edit it properly, but we have the January the 18th, 27.9 pings directly on William, and it also has an 18.9. And there's 18.9s all over the place. This is not good, guys. This is not good at all. And Charles ironically visits on the 26th of Jan. 26.8. We'll note in the first video on December the 26th, 26.8 is a staging. It's fake. Make believe. And this is what's happening here. We got a 26.8 Charles visit. This is all just for media. keeping the public happy. The husband, caring husband, goes to visit exactly the day after. Surely, if you, the husband, you'd be there the day she arrives, right? Or you with her when she arrives, right? If you, the husband, still. Then we've got Charles visits approximately 9 days later. His daughter, his favorite daughter-in-law, has been in hospital for 9 days, and he pays her a visit. There was a reference to Charles' announcement of his cancer. So that would have only happened on February the 5th. I wonder if I'm going to include that here. I'm going to include that because when I saw February the 5th, which is all lies, by the way, 5 is a lie, with his cancer diagnosis. Now, I'm not making light of cancer. My father died of cancer. My best cousin died of cancer, so I do not take it lightly. I sat with my father for many months while he was dying of cancer. Not a very nice sight. So February the 5th is when Charles announces, or it's announced, that he has cancer, right? And I'm not making light of this, but I'm pointing out, was this a media ploy to break the focus on Catherine, that he comes out with cancer on February the 5th? Now, I'm not just discarding the fact that he could possibly have cancer, right? But the day that it's announced, for me, is dodge. So we'll note February the 5th. Let me just put here Charles' cancer announcement. Before we get, I'm just going to take us back to, in fact, I'm going to take us back to the photograph of Mom and supposedly Kate in the car. I want to just show you something. So Charles' cancer announced on the February the 5th. So 5 is a lie. Announced, sorry, I'm spelling. Announced. All right, spell check, take over. Okay, there we go. So cancer announced on February the 5th. So that would have been before the visit, after the visit of Charles. So although, let's say in the real, Charles may have been dealing with pains and aches and pains, and that's why it took him 9 days to get to the hospital. But interesting, William day after, Charles 9 days later. Interesting choice of timing. And of course, the day that he goes on, there's all these 8s. It's just a mess. So February the 5th, the announcement comes out 257-15-6. Do you see what I see with the day that Catherine is seeing, supposedly with her mom in the car, has the direct outcome when Charles goes to visit Catherine? All bullshit. Excuse my French. I just want to quickly put a triangle over here because this is very similar situation. So we have just excuse me while I sort this out. There we go. So the 3 numbers, let me just point this out to you. The 3 numbers below the day that Kate is supposedly seen with her mother, we have the outcome. So now I've got a triangle there, 7, 8, 15, 6. I'm just drawing your attention to this. It's very important. 7, 8, 15, 6 is the day Catherine is put in public, so to speak, so the world can see that she's fine. 7, 8, 15, 6. Something's not right here. And if we go back to Charles's visit, or the cancer scare is also a 7, 8, 15, 6. Now, I'll be fair in saying that 7, the number 7 normally denotes cancer, right? 7 is the dreaded number for cancer, unfortunately. If you have a 7, it doesn't mean you're going to get cancer, but 7 is normally indicated by cancer. So interestingly, that the day that the announcement is made about the cancer reflects also on the day that Catherine is taken into public. And this is the issue that's happening here. Apart from the main issue, which is Catherine, of course, is that the communication around this is just horrific. Horrific. So this is what leads me, I'm going back to the original slide, that whatever happened on the end of December 25 going into December the 26th, something happened that caught every single person off guard. And threw the cat amongst the pigeons. And I believe since December the 26th, or the evening, midnight, or let's just say by sunset, December 25 onwards, the royal family were in trouble with this media storm that they knew was approaching. And of course, there's a fact here. There's one fact. If anything has to be taken for real, let's say, there's one fact here. Kate has not been seen since December 25. Now, if one of your family members was not seen since December 25, are you just going to sit around and wait? There's problems here. It's interesting what I noticed, because I brought in William's date of birth, that the year that he's born in 22 is a direct match with Catherine. Is that right? Why would she? 42, beg your pardon. So he's currently a 41 because he hasn't had his birthday yet. So he's a June baby. So 41, 5, not good. So he's currently 41.5 and approaching June, his birthday, and thereafter he'll be a 42.6. I'm going to highlight that 42.6 in red because the impression that I just had is what people are saying in the comments, what you're saying in the comments, which is news to me. Okay, I'm going to discuss this because I had some background to this from a psychic point of view. About 3 years ago, I believe, I was looking at the royal family for whatever reason. But the message that I also got that William was not going to be king, and which I found at the time very strange because everyone was saying he was going to be the next king because Charles, being the age that he was, would he actually take up the mantle? What is the story? And of course, then he became king. And, I was given the message that he wouldn't be king at that time. Now, I wonder, should we do it in this reading and see if he will be king? If it's relevant here. Because what bothers me, if I look at his age, now, 41.5 currently. So he's actually going through a lot of difficulty at the moment with this age. And it's also that 41.5, I'm getting a sense of decluttering, getting rid of stuff, getting rid of things that he doesn't need, doesn't want. And it's, of course, never a pleasant process, right? Or let's say things could be done differently, that we don't end up in this situation, because I think the way it was handled internally has revolted Catherine in a way, let's say. The 42.6, because it's a 42.6, there's going to be a disconnection with this guy. there's a possible disconnection with this guy so June, where we now, March, April, May, June. So in a month's time, leading up to his birthday and beyond his birthday and the year after, I'm getting a sense there's going to be a disconnection here, hey, with public. And then just going back to the 20 in the year that he's born, and Kate's also born in the year adding up to a 22. And under normal circumstances, and this is obviously normal circumstances, I believe this relationship was premeditated or like planned, karmic in a way. And Catherine obviously was there to produce kids for the royal family. Not nice. And I'll say again, because when Princess Diana was murdered, and in fact, I've done a show on Princess Diana, actually, I'll link it here while I'm talking about her. The situation around Princess Diana, before I was like a practicing psychic or come out as psychic, the event obviously traumatized us, right? Here's this beautiful princess of the people who died in a mysterious car accident. So have a look at that reading. I did a reading on that, but at the time I had prophetic dreams around this whole situation with Princess Diana. And of course, when I did the show and practicing as a psychic and a medium, the information becomes a little bit more clearer. Your 42-6 William, I'm concerned about that, to be honest. That tells me there's a disconnect coming with William and the public and the people. There's a disconnect. And, let's put an asterisk, being in public life ain't easy, okay? All right, so let's go and say we're going to look at the date now when Kate was discharged, which is January the 29th, 2024. I'm going to put an asterisk there now. I'm only putting an asterisk there now because no one ever saw her leave the hospital. So we're going to look at these dates anyway. So the 29/11/2 was already telling me there's a lie here in play. 29/11/2 is dodgy. So let's just say, and let's just be clear, and I say this in pretty much all the videos, if you look at your numbers and you got these numbers, don't think it's what I'm talking about is you. Numerology works with the context, and yeah, we all aware what the context is. Catherine is missing. A human being has gone missing, not the princess or the queen has gone missing. A human being has gone missing. And that's my starting point. A human being has gone missing. So the fact that she's discharged, let's say, okay, let's take it on the real. 29/11/2. So when she leaves hospital that day, so the day begins, sunrise happens, and it's 50-50 whether she's going to be released today on the face value of that number, 29/11/2. Is she going to come out or not? Then we have the presence of the 33. Now I've been reminded that 33 is feminine energy. So the 33 pings directly, of course, on Catherine, right? And I mentioned this in the previous video. This because I was born Roman Catholic doesn't mean I have to praise the Pope or the Vatican City every day. Not going to happen. So the 11/2 outcome of that day is also like it's touch and go. Something is off here. All right. So let's just see where we get these reflections and what's happening here. So already I'm seeing on January the 29th, there's Kate, the 33, and it's all 50-50 whether she's getting discharged or whatever the situation is. A lot of uncertainty on this day, let's put it that way. A lot of uncertainty on this day. So we go January the 30th. So we got that 33, there's Kate. 31-4. So here's where I take issue. 31-4 is a very negative number in the situation. It's like 31-4 is almost the opposite of healing. It's like the situation's even worse. Which ironically also has the 12-3 outcome, which is Kate pings directly on Kate. Something's not right here. So let's put it this way. I mean, the numbers aren't lying. Where the lies are coming from is what's been disseminated to the public by the Royal Office, right? So what the Royal Office is saying and what the numbers are saying here is two completely different things, in my opinion. I mean, if I'm looking at this from a Kate's perspective, I don't even think she can even walk. Never mind, is she okay to go home? So something's not adding up here. What has been said in the media via the Royal Office has not been reflected in the numbers. Because again, on January the 31st, I've highlighted the 31-4 red, problematic. That's like the opposite of healing, the opposite of the mend. It's like broken. It can't be fixed. It's broken. And this is probably where the issue is. Whatever happened to Kate can't be fixed. Let me put it colloquially. So whatever the so-called medical condition is, it can't be repaired. It's over. 32-5 is I mentioned this in the video that I did with Putin and Russia and the war with Ukraine. 32-5 is destruction. The human body has been destroyed. This is why what has been said in the media is a lie. And what's bothering me now, and I just quickly looked at the original slide, you will note, I'm going to put it in orange, that 44, that is very much the male energy around her. It is William, it is Charles. And again, we have that 13-4. Guys, we are being lied to here. This is all bullshit. And this is why I was saying on that first watch of the video, there's a lot of nines popping up here. Too many nines going on here. There's chaos, communication blunders. So this is where my heart sinks a little bit. January 31. This actually seals the deal for me here, actually. You've got the 31-4, 32-5. Whatever happened to Kate is irreversible, I believe. I'll say it again. Spirit is saying, say it again. Whatever happened to Kate is irreversible. And when we have that 13-4 again, jeez. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if it's necessary to do a third video, because I can tell you now, this is problematic. So I'm just going back to the original slide. Whatever happened on Christmas, that Christmas break at the palace, can never be restored ever again. And the big issue, what people should be commenting about it, not saying you should call her prince or queen, and with due respect, ma'am and sir, but the question you should be asking is, why is there a cover-up or lies around Catherine Middleton? A human being is in distress and no one can do anything about it because we have the same situation as the Vatican City. The world operates within the Vatican City and no one else can touch them. Sound familiar? So, now I've just been led to, remember I said with William, the 42.6 is a disconnection. And that's exactly what Kate is in at the moment. I just realized. I'm going to mark her in red. Oh my goodness. So there it is, 42.6, disconnection from Kate. And the same is going to happen for William. Once again, we have a mother, woman, like Diana, who has been thrown about, tossed about in the walls and confines of the royal family. This is not good. There's too many red flags here. So I would say that the real issue here is obviously what has happened to Kate, but we've been lied to. The public has been lied to. And listen, I followed the royal family all the way till I was like 24, 5, whenever Princess Diana died or was murdered. And when these things keep happening at the same household, surely you, as a neighbor, you would say, gosh, there must be something wrong in that household. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave it here for now. I will definitely say there's, that 31.4, 32.5, whatever happened can't be fixed. It can't be fixed. So the question is, how are they going to fix it? We are going to see some interesting media posts when the time is ready. Oh, by the way, and I'm just going to include it here quickly, I just recalled, there was a media post from the royal family, actually, that I think I should share with you, which seals the deal for me, because this will give them time to make a plan, right? What are these people going to do? So here's the post. On February the 5th, 2024, and it says here, Princess Kate's abdominal surgery recovery could take 9 months. Nine months to grow a clone. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I feel very heartbroken for Catherine, and that's who I care about in this reading. I don't care about anything else. A woman is in distress. Now the question is, so a lot of viewers have been asking, so why haven't the parents intervened? Now imagine you find out something has happened to your daughter that is irreversible. Can they do much about it? I will just leave that thought there. Why would they play with the royal family in terms of faking a drive, Kate in the car going for a nice drive? Because there's an agenda. Okay, I'm going to stop there. I don't want to babble on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave it here. if there's any major breakthrough or situations, but I think we must take the media alerts coming out to the royal family as a pinch of salt, with all these eights flying around and all these too many eights, miscommunication, bundled communication, botched communications. Why don't they just tell us the truth? All right, let me know what your thoughts are. I'd love engaging with your comments. If you have not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe and stay alert.